Bangladesh. A bigger population than you think. Bangladesh. You may think of the Ganges Delta, the world's largest. Maybe the famous Bengali tigers that roam throughout the countryside. Or you might even know Bangladesh as the world's second biggest garment exporter. How about population? Being in South Asia, you probably assume Bangladesh has a large population, even though it is a small country. And you'd be right. But first, let's look at how big Bangladesh is. The land area is 148,000 kilometers squared. That's smaller than Tunisia, which is 163,000 kilometers squared. It's slightly smaller than the state of Iowa. Here come the big numbers. The Bangladesh population is about 163 million people. That's ridiculously huge. And here's the thing, there are more people living in Bangladesh than Russia. Yes, Russia, the world's biggest country at 17 million kilometers squared, has less people than Bangladesh, which means an incredibly high population density. Bangladesh is one of the world's most densely populated countries, with around 1,200 people per square kilometre. This is almost 3 times as dense as its neighbour, India. Pretty amazing. So, how did it get to this? The best way to fully understand how so many people live in Bangladesh is to take a tour of the country. To start, we have to go back in time, to 1971 to be precise. Bangladesh used to be known as East Pakistan. Although the region shared the same religion as Pakistan, it was culturally different. They were Bengali people and felt they were often discriminated against. In 1971, East Pakistan won a battle for independence from Pakistan with the help of Indian troops. They were jubilant and renamed the new country Bangladesh. Initially, the new nation faced economic struggles, and in the early 1970s, many people were struggling to make ends meet. This led to the first surge in population growth. Poverty can lead to high fertility rates, as many people may not have access to family planning information. Conversely, many families want to have large numbers of children in the hope that they can find work and contribute to their family. If you're living under the poverty line, more children can earn more money. So, more procreation. Children are also seen as future carers for their parents and grandparents. At this stage, Bangladesh's population was about 65 million. It was to grow rapidly. Time to delve deeper into Bangladesh for more answers. If you look around, it doesn't take long to realize there is a significant Muslim population. Very significant, in fact. Over 90% of the population are Muslim. The cultural implications are important and can give us an even greater insight as to why Bangladesh has such a mighty population. The family is the center of everything in Muslim culture, and at the center of the family is the mother or child bearer. Children are sacred, and so large families are treasured. 3 to 4 children is to be expected. A large family is seen as healthy and vibrant. In fact, it is said that wives are a place of sowing of seed for you, so come to your place of cultivation. In Bangladesh, this has certainly held true. It is thought that having large numbers of children not only represents a healthy family, but in a practical sense, they can also provide old age support, honour, and prestige. While the fertility rate has gradually slowed down over recent years, Bangladesh Muslims have never felt the restrictions of strict limits to children per family. Because children are seen as a joy and an asset, the number of large families in Bangladesh remained consistent throughout the 70s, 80s and 90s. At its peak in the 1980s, the average number of births per woman in Bangladesh was 5 to 6 children. However, it isn't just the influence of Muslim culture that led to such a boom. In order to fully understand the reasons behind the large Bangladesh population, we have to go south. Let's head to the Ganges Delta, the world's largest river delta. The Ganges Delta is shared by Bangladesh and the Indian state of Bengal. Around 135 million people live on the delta, and at least 300 million are dependent on it for agriculture. This gives us another hint as to why Bangladesh's population boomed. Historically, delta regions have always drawn people from less fertile areas for the farming and agricultural opportunities. The Ganges Delta is one of the world's most fertile regions. From the 1970s, the bulk of the Bangladesh economy was based around agriculture, with cereal, rice and livestock being the major sources of industry. To make a living from farming and agriculture, a healthy labour supply is critical. And it is here that we can see yet another crucial factor behind the Bangladesh population size. To make a living from farming, you need as many hands as possible. This translates to as many children as possible. A family of 6 or 7 can produce a lot more than a family of 4. Plus, agricultural work is tough. There are fields to plough, crops to plant, crops to maintain, livestock to feed, livestock to look after. As soon as they're able, children are put to work, whether it be digging, ploughing, picking, or planting. In the 1970s and 1980s, Bangladesh was highly dependent on agricultural exports and income. Families on the Delta needed plenty of children, not just for labour, but to then support their parents in old age. Extra children were also encouraged in case of disease or illness, which can have an effect on family numbers. The pattern was repeated from generation to generation. If we couple this very real need for children with a Muslim belief that large families are invaluable, then we can start to understand the patterns leading to Bangladesh's population size. Initial spurt due to survival reasons, and then sustained, regular growth based on cultural values and economic needs. From the early 1970s until the early 1990s, the Bangladesh population grew at a steady rate of about 2% per year. Interestingly, this was roughly the same rate as the urbanization of Bangladesh. As more and more people flocked to the cities, the population continued to rise at the same rate. This suggests that religious and cultural factors have been more of an influence than those relating to the support of an agricultural economy. As you might expect from a country that had to fight for its independence, Bangladesh has become something of a South Asian success story. It has used its healthy population to boost economic performance and is continuing to grow. Bangladesh has gone from over 90% of people living in poverty in 1971 to now boasting a higher income per capita than old rival Pakistan. Bangladesh has now risen to $2,000 compared to Pakistan's $1,190. While a large portion of the population are still heavily employed in agriculture, an equally large number of urbanized Bangladeshis are contributing to the massive garment industry, which is easily the most important export in the country. Bangladesh continues to attract foreign investment and is focusing on more technical industries. A large population can be a good thing, especially if literate. 74% of adults are literate, with an annual growth rate of around 6%. Bangladesh is a relatively young nation and has shown incredible resourcefulness and tenacity. The future can only get brighter. A nation's population is truly its most valuable resource.